Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Founders Create, sponsored by Gaper.io. Today we have Michael from Inkit. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mustafa. Appreciate it.
So tell us a bit more about yourself before Inkit.
Yeah, so my background is I'm Michael McCarthy, and I'm the CEO at Inkit. And prior to Inkit, I guess a quick background is I born and raised in Minneapolis, went to school at Washington Lee in Virginia, and my background is in economics and computer sciences. So throughout college, I was working on different mobile apps and different even software for drones, and spent time working at financial services companies in their trading groups, primarily focusing on more the programmatic side. So it was always around technology and code, and really stumbled upon this huge opportunity, which is, and really learned about it through banking, where these banks have all sorts of different offline touch points, but they don't have a way to actually orchestrate those offline touch points. So that's really where we created Inkit, was this idea that these large financial institutions, these large insurers, healthcare companies, et cetera, really need a way to, or really are looking to solve for this pain point where they need to automate their different workflows. And their offline workflows are something that currently many times is not automated. So we've created a product that helps automate the offline side of their business.
Okay. And and how's the journey been so far? What are the pain points? Have you gone through any pivots, or the direction has been the same from day one?
So we're just about 2 years old. We are, really from a client side, the biggest pain points that we solve for our clients are, number one, the lack of automation. So our clients, many times before they started working with us, we're doing everything in a CSV format, meaning if they need to send out swag, or they need to send out a letter or a bill or a statement, they literally were doing all of that via a CSV or via an email. So that's one of the first problems. Second big problem is, because all these documents are being sent out via CSV or email, many times if those companies already get audited, they have a lack or a very slow audit process that takes months. And then the third big thing is they also have this huge lack of, right now, what each customer is receiving, meaning Mustafa could receive a line of credit offer from the credit card division, and could also receive a home foreclosure notice from the home mortgage division. And there really is no centralized way that other groups or other teams know what's being sent, because again, it's all done in these CSVs. So our solution solves for all of that by really bringing all these communications into a digital ingestible type of interface. And from the start, we really focused on being very customer centric from day one. So ever since we got started, we've had customers, and have continued to grow those customers into bigger and bigger accounts, as well as just doing more work with them, because we've always been very, very committed to focusing on their problems and their different needs.
So, and what's the journey been like in terms of customer acquisition? Because since you're targeting the bigger corporations, and sometimes they are reluctant in working with startups. So how has your experience been in convincing and acquiring the first couple of customers?
Yeah, so we're really focused on mid to enterprise. It's the process can be pretty short. It can also be pretty long. So you get a varying degree of lengths. And what we found is most successful is obviously finding a key stakeholder or a key decision maker inside those organizations, who really can act as our sponsor and as our champion to really push us forward. And what we really focus on is, once we can identify that one key person, then we know we have something real. If we can't find that one key person, then we usually move on. So we have a very methodical sales process, where we're very focused on those types of details.
And where do you see Inkit 3 years from now?
We will be a much we're growing very, very quickly right now, so we will be a massive business. We already would say that we are the industry leader in this category, and that one of the big things that we're really excited about and looking forward to is building more awareness about what we're doing in our space. So in 3 years' time, we truly believe that every single large organization out there will begin to realize and really see how important this category is, and it'll just make our sales motion that much easier.
So, Michael, you've been a banker, you've been an investor in startups, and now you're doing your own startup. So, what advice would you give? Three advices that you would give to budding entrepreneurs who are looking to start, and how to go about it.
Is disconnected. Hello?
Yeah. So I'll
Yeah.
repeat the
So
question
I'll
again,
repeat the question again.
and
Okay, do you want to repeat that?
yeah, I'll repeat the question again. That way, then I'll cut it afterward. So, Michael, you've been an investor in startups, you've been a banker, now you're doing your own startups. What three pieces of advice would you give to budding entrepreneurs who are looking to start and looking to raise money? What advice would you give to them?
First piece of advice is pick a market that's very ripe for change, meaning if you go into a highly competitive market, you're going to obviously have more of an uphill battle. But if you're in a slower market, an area that maybe hasn't been transformed by technology, it becomes a lot easier to move and and reorient yourself and really start to find product market fit. So that would be my first piece of advice. Second piece of advice is really, and this one many people just can't learn, but that is the ability to have grit and really get up and be flexible. A lot of these things are learned by athletes where they every morning they put in the work. You're constantly pushing towards a goal. There's so many things that I learned playing college or collegiate athletics, and even just through high school and as a little kid, where that ability to not give up and to bounce back from a loss is so important, because too many times I see companies or even just other founders where they give up too early, or they throw in the towel, and sometimes you just have to ride it out a little bit until the seas get a little bit calmer. So that would be my biggest piece of advice.
Okay. And in 2019, we've seen a rising trend towards more and more companies hiring remotely. We're seeing articles, studies coming out that, there's a rising trend towards remote work. But do you believe that uh, the productivity will remain the same, or will it decrease, especially when it comes down to mid-sized corporations?
When it comes down to startups or large corporations?
Mid-size, startups to mid-size.
My answer is it depends on who's being hired. So if you build a good team, you can build a good team anywhere. Meaning if you hire top talent, whether it's in the U.S., UK, Singapore, Asia, top talent's always going to be good anywhere. So my 2 cents are that yes, remote work will always be a thing, and the best companies will figure out how to hire the best people, and those best people will perform. But remote work also doesn't work if you're not hiring the best people, because then you don't have any way to keep that accountability.
Hmm. Thank you, Michael. Thank you again so much, people. Thank you so much, viewers, listening to Michael McCarthy from Inkit.com. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Mustafa. Appreciate you having me.